Theresa Griffin, Labour MEP for the North West. A Fiddlers Ferry power station in your constituency has been identified in this report as amongst the dirtiest in Europe. What's your reaction?
I mean, obviously this is very concerning. It's very concerning for the locale. It's very concerning for people who work there. And what we need to ensure is that we have clean green technologies, that we work to achieve targets for emissions by 2016 and the overall reduction in obviously emissions. We've got some great projects that we're piloting, for instance, in carbon capture at the moment in Yorkshire. We may need to ensure that we learn from these projects.
I mean, if it's a particularly dirty power station and the targets are going up, does this report signal that this power station perhaps needs to invest in cleaner coal technology?
Absolutely. It absolutely has to invest in cleaner technology. It has to make sure that it's safe for its workers. It has to work with its trade unions to make sure that it is achieving EU-wide standards and that we actually have those standards monitored and enforced. It's about health and safety. It's also about clean green technology.
EU law is getting stricter over the coming years.
Yes.
Isn't it the case that unless this power station and power stations like it improve their act, they're not going to be able to continue running, and that's going to mean jobs?
Absolutely. We have to protect jobs and we have to make sure that these plants are actually achieving the targets that are set by the EU. Those targets are set to protect people, to protect the environment and to protect my region. It has a duty to clean up its act.
More generally about the power stations like this, according to this report, their average efficiency rate is 36%. I mean, they're clearly not achieving great strides at the moment. Is this a sign that perhaps the energy, we need to look again at perhaps the energy mix as well as cleaning up the coal?
Of course we need to look at the energy mix, and of course we need to look at clean, green and new technologies, but also we need to make sure that we have national targets that are binding so that we can actually monitor what each member state is achieving in this area.
And in fact, the UK does have the Climate Act, which requires an 80% reduction in carbon dioxide emissions by 2050. Unless power stations like this are cleaned up, presumably, that kind of target's going to be pie in the sky, isn't it?
That we have to work collectively to ensure that those targets are met. We absolutely have to do that for our future generations, and we have to make sure that we're committed to achieving that.